I am alive and it is great to be alive. Today I'm showing off a Hildryn build to you all. I call it a Hildryn build because I have like 3 of them and I enjoy every single one, but this one seemed to be maybe the most interesting or perhaps one that you guys would care the most about. I'm just going to go ahead and call this the Hildryn battery build because the heavy focus of this build is primarily on her Haven ability. This build is going to make your Haven way more expensive, but given that Hildryn has such a large shield pool, I find that making your abilities cost more isn't really such a downside, especially when you have shield pillage to restore it whenever you need. So this build will essentially just allow you to be a really overly effective shield osprey for your whole team here while damaging nearby enemies. It's going to drain 387 shielding upon first casting, and the drain per ally is going to be 8.75, while the drain per enemy is going to be 43.75. You know, those numbers seem rather large, but I'll show you here in a moment when I'm demoing it. It really doesn't feel like it's much of a drain. It's honestly quite a reasonable cost. And again, like I said, when you have shield pillage, you can always replenish your shielding in very large amounts, especially with this build's power strength. This is going to increase your allies' shield capacity by 1,420% because you have a 284% power strength, which is absolutely amazing. And you actually can get even more than that when you combine the fact that I have energy conversion on this build. So once you pick up an energy orb, your next ability is going to have 50% more power strength. The reason energy conversion is amazing on Hildryn is because her ultimate spawns energy orbs. So even if you're not getting an energy orb naturally when you need it, you can always just go into your ult and say, okay, I need a freaking energy orb because I want to shield my team, and then boom, you have that 50% added strength. The damage per second done to enemies is going to be 568 radiation damage. The only downside to this build is that you are not going to recharge your ally shields very quickly. Well, in relative to how good you could get this ability to recharge your allies' shielding, it's still going to recharge their shields 58% faster, which is helpful, especially considering how much you're going to be giving them. Enough emphasis on that one ability. Let me get into the build here. I've got corrosive projection simply just because it matches the polarity slot, and energy siphon on here is useless. I've got adaptation is a must on Hildryn in my personal opinion. It's going to make those shields infinitely tankier. Augur Accord, intensify, again, energy conversion, transient fortitude, blind rage, and redirection. This is a sacrificial build that sacrifices everything else, almost. You have a little bit of survivability with these 2 mods. Sacrifices everything for a dramatic amount of power strength, and you may be wondering why I have an empty mod slot here. Well, it's because I have these other builds I really enjoy, which I'd love to show you later, and I really don't want to screw those up. If I throw something else in there, I'm thinking it might conflict later on. The reason it's so easy to maintain shielding on your allies and never run out is because your shield pillage will only cost 232 shielding. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not, trust me. It is going to drain 71% of enemy shields or armor, which is not only excellent for making enemies easier to kill, but it ensures that you're not having to hit very many enemies at all, and then you're going to bounce straight into overshields. And energy conversion is really fun on this build because you only need that added 50% power strength when you initially cast the ability, and then with pillage you can keep the ability going for a very long time so that you maintain that 50% strength on it. So I'm joined by my good friend Cedric, who's going to help me show this off real quick. He originally had 300 shielding before he got some overshields, I think, from his pet. So you'll notice I've been able to take my friend's 300 shielding to 1,970. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. That is a nice buff. Especially helpful if you are playing with a mag. Really cool. You can help keep the mag alive, and whenever she casts her polarize, she's going to completely refill your shields, thus essentially refilling your energy pool. So a really fun Hildryn build. It is a lot more expensive than, say, my other more tame ones, but I find it really fun. I just wanted to push it over the top and see how much extra shielding I could give my allies, and it is a really fun build. I was especially using it last night, cracking open and sealing the fissures out in the Orb Vallis, and it was doing really good. It was really helping buff our team. So really fun time. I hope this video is informational, entertaining, or helpful in some way, shape, or form. As always, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.